Yo, it's crazy, bro. Like, this is second appearance, and the post is just showing up strong. Like, what's up? Like, where y'all at? Crow came 2, 3 deep. Solana, it look like no deep. Like,
Yo, I won't
He
lie, it's
said no
looking
deep.
bad. It's looking bad right now for
He said
Solana.
no
And I
deep.
tagged. Yo, what's crazy is I tagged all the maxis. I let Quicks know from that crazy ass space we had. He said he's coming in. Like they said they was gonna come, but they quiet now. They on fake accounts. Like they panic and they're like, oh my god, it's Pulse. They don't know what's going on. And like we got Pat here, Pat's ready with the battle shield. Like, all right, Pat's here. Like, if we on some 300 shit, like we know Pulse is coming to black out the sky with their arrows, but we going out. We not going down without a fight. We got some maxis in here, but like we need somebody to come front line and come defend that technology. Like I don't know, man.
I told you, man. I don't know if Solana has it in him to organize for a common cause. Like the Hex MFers, man, they run deep. They're all on the same DeFi platform. They're all pumping each other's bags. There's always exit liquidity coming in. They're always getting new people to pump their bags. Solana, it's tough for us to organize, man. Right? We don't have a cool DeFi platform where we can just get 25% year round, and.
This is looking like a funeral for Solana, man. It's looking pretty bad. And I hit some people up too right now. They acting like they working right now. They acting like they busy. They lying. They making excuses.
Someone tagged BitBoy. I texted
Running.
him. He said he's gonna roll through. I don't know if he's pulling up. I might need BitBoy on my side.
yo, he
The
would get
graphic.
fried.
Listen,
I'm gonna be honest too. Like me and Pat know a lot of people on Soul. They are running right now because I had some people tell me over the weekend they're gonna be here. They pop in and have enough courage. Maybe they need to go take a drink. Maybe they need to go slap themselves some water. Maybe they need some push-ups, do a pep talk. I don't know, but I promise you guys, at least 10 people was like, yeah, we coming for Solana, dude. Which we should have just did the Hedera versus Pulse at this point because they would have showed up for sure. Let's go to Ted. What's going on, Ted?
I'm a big fan of Pulse Chain, but I do recognize Solana for their key differences between Pulse Chain. Solana was built from the ground up with unique consensus mechanism, while Pulse Chain is just really a fork of Ethereum, And another thing, Solana's POH and a POS hybrid offers high speed transaction, whereas Pulse Chain just leverages Ethereum roots to upon Ethereum's limitation. But there is a distinct difference between Pulse Chain and Solana. It's a very key difference, and I just like to bring it up right now.
I mean, that's honestly a lot of what I was going to say. Pulse is just an Ethereum fork with some DeFi protocols. It's pretty much totally dead. It's been dead since the SEC news. It looks like, at least from price action. Solana is pretty much the most scalable blockchain out there.
Wait, you kicking it off, Pat? Like that?
I don't want my arguments to just be what Pulse can't do, what Pulse doesn't do, and what Pulse is in regard to like what's being built on it and stuff like that. It's kind of like, what can you say about the actual technicals of the chain, right? Ethereum's just an Ethereum fork, whatever. But with Solana, you could say, oh, it's really fast, but it goes down all the time. Like, I feel this conversation can definitely get somewhere if we're talking about, projects on the chain, like communities and stuff like that. And I mean, Solana is super fucking degen, but I think Pulse is a little more degen, to be honest with you.
But that would only
I
work.
would actually disagree that Solana is more degen than Pulse.
And that would only work if
shit.
the timeline is the same, right?
Oh
Because
shit.
if people are looking at the timeline from Solana's creation to now,
Wait,
Postchain
hold
is only
on.
6 months in.
Hold on. Solana's starting
That's
to
true.
come through. They starting to come through.
Oh, we got
Okay.
Quicks too. Quicks is
You
up
got,
Oh,
you
here.
hold
got,
on.
Bo-
What you mean?
you got, you got Bobby on your
That,
side.
but that was null and voided.
You got Bobby on your side now, Pat. We got Joe up. Okay. Pat's with Solana. Quicks is with Solana. Bobby's with Solana. Joe's with Solana. Zach is with Pulse. Mello's with Pulse. Kyle's with Pulse, I'm guessing. Degen, are you still with Solana or are you going with Pulse?
Of course, Kyle's.
Nah, I'm still with Solana.
Okay, so it's 5 against 3 right now. We need one more person to come up here and from Pulse, so send the invite. And then
Oh, wait. Is it 5 against 3? Damn, I'll switch back to Pulse then. Yeah, let's make it fair.
Pulse Chain is definitely not dead. It's been in the top 10 for volume basically since launch. I believe now it's like 12th, but still.
I was going to say we lost top 10 a couple days ago. Yeah.
Try explaining it to a person who has no freaking clue which to pick. which way, modern man? Make it super dumb and simple. Because if the
Concisely.
average Joe picks one or the other instead of all this extra information, then I think we have a clear winner. So
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say, like, hey, if we're gonna do this, like, look at Solana's date, how long it's been active, and how long PulseChain has been active. If we're gonna go that route, is the best way to actually look at in the first 6 months of Solana. Where were you guys at? Same thing as PulseChain, and where can PulseChain go? And then look at how Solana went from that 6 months. So that's it.
Absolutely. It's each, right? So 5 minutes per person for each blockchain. So that's 20 minutes in total. And then we'll get into why which one's better. I'll get into the whole pitch, the analytics, the data, what people should be checking out. Why do you feel like your blockchain is better than the other? So without further ado, let's kick it off to Pat first.
To be honest, though, I feel like the best person to introduce us, he's going to come with numbers, data, tech, analytics, quicks. What do you got? Because I want to bounce off of you. I feel like you have more knowledge. You might have some numbers. And let me do the shit talking.
I'm going to start with this. Only possible on Solana. That's the slogan. Why? Only 2 blockchains have more than 2 client validators. What a client validator is a software that the blockchain is run on. We have on Solana 4. One of them, Fire Dancer, the infrastructure that they created to run with all 4, and also the block validators that help every transaction, is clocked in at 1 million TPS. It's live on testnet. The possibilities, because it uses less energy than a Visa transaction, costs less than a cent. According to the Nakamoto coefficient, which I put in the comments, is the second most decentralized blockchain. The things that are being built are only possible on Solana. We have Helium Mobile live in South Florida, $5 a month cellular coverage. Phone, of course, everyone knows the NFT communities, but the main thing that you need to understand is the 2 reasons why Solana is the superior blockchain. Is because of the sea level, which scales, and the proof of history, the timestamps. And imagine, like, you send letters and you need, the transactions. Everyone, you have people around the world that need to send a letter and you need to get them. They come in at different days, but if you tell them what day to send it on, you go by the date. That's what allows us to do this. And it's scaled by Visa. They understand that this is going to be the future of retail. The number 1 game that we have, Star Atlas, our AAA, does more transaction on a day than Polygon, the entire blockchain. And every year, Breakpoint, the 3rd year this year, it just seems to get better and better. All the speakers, all the projects, what's being developed is just incredible. It's only possible on Solana. So at the end of the day, I truly believe that every blockchain has like their use case, what they solve, the problem that they solve in the world that makes it Web3. And we all want that decentralized finance, to control our own assets, digital, and real life. Solana is just built better. And I don't see any argument that can kind of like tell me otherwise. So also the famous foxes are the number 1 project. So if anyone tells you otherwise, just laugh at them and be like, no, the foxes got this. But that's a personal thing. So let's get into it. I'd like to hear any rebuttals.
Nah, dude, that was pretty damn good. Like, technicals wise, dude, the thing was built it launched probably in 2020, I want to say. It was built to solve a problem, right? And that's to create, a fast and scalable network. And they've done it, it's the fastest and it's the most scalable. You might be able to rebuttal that with, security compromisation claims or something like that. But just answer this, like, is Solana going anywhere? Solana's been in the top 10 for years. I have Mello on record saying that Pulse is a store of value, and I would just say if you're investing,
Hold on, whoa, what?
if you're investing if you're investing in Solana for the long term, technology wise, like 5-year, 10-year track, you can justify that 100%. I don't think I can say the same about Pulse. I don't even know if it's going to be here next year, to be honest with you. But let's go back and forth. Mello, you can go ahead and rebuttal.
No, but let's see what Bobby and Joe got to say real quick, and then we'll have like Pulse rebuttal and Pulse get into it. I want to see what Bobby and Joe got to add on to that.
So I don't know much about PulseX at all. I see it's crypto rank wise it's 2000 something. Is this Richard Hart? Is this his blockchain? Don't tell me this is his blockchain.
It's his blockchain, brother.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. All right, look. I'm not throwing blows, but doesn't he have some lawsuit going on right now with the SEC?
Yeah,
Just
he's getting
asking.
sued. He's getting sued by the SEC.
Or when
I
he
mean, there's so many. Another thing I want to add before we swing it to Joe is there's just so many subset. Like there's so many sections of the Solana economy. There's a ridiculous amount of marketplaces. There's a ridiculous amount of protocols being built that encourage creation on the platform. You know, obviously the best example is Magic Eden, right? But there's 5 Magic Eden knockoffs. There's 20 friggin' thousand, you know, protocols being built all at the same time. Like I don't think Pulse really has the diversity of network or comes really even close to what Solana does. I don't think many blockchains do. You know, even talking, you know, even stuff like Polygon, like Ethereum reached out to the Matic network to scale their shit. That's all they wanted. I think the Solana economy in itself is so far developed that it really has, you know, it's taken its market share and it's really only here to stay and climb. You know, like Quick said, there's so many large scale, like institutionalized partners at this point. I mean, they just dropped the phone. Like they're really, you know, pushing towards becoming one of the big tech companies in terms of Web3. I mean, so obviously it already is, but the stuff they're doing in the real world too, it's tough to look past. But Joe might have a little more. Joe, we're obviously building on Solana together, and he's a big maxi. He's who brought me in. So Joe, what do you got in defense of the network?
Yeah, first I wanted to say that these are all really great points. So for the wallets for Pulse Chain, I've just been Google searching some wallets. Do you have to use MetaMask for Pulse Chain?
It's exact same as with every blockchain. You can use MetaMask, you can use any type of wallet, and it'll work.
It's
So
still an
I'm
EVM. It's an EVM.
okay, so it's an EVM. I guess then my biggest thing is that one of the reasons why we chose Solana is because the user interface, bar none, is just better than pretty much any other blockchain that I've seen. So unless if someone can send me some links to some really smooth things, but you know, even if my grandma can sort of download this and use it, and I think it is genuinely easier than an email at the end of the day. I think that just says volumes to onboarding more people and things like that. That just the whole EVM is just clunky and a little bit ugly in my opinion. So until there's just I don't know, someone smooths that out a little bit, I just think Solana's more friendly to the general population.
All right, so let's do this before we pass it over to Pulse then. So Pat, Quicks, Bobby, and Joe, right? Like, what from you guys' knowledge, like, what do you say sucks about Pulse? What do you guys say is like Solana's just super superior, and why Pulse is like the worst and the shittiest? And then they're gonna respond and say why they're the best and why Solana's the shittiest, and they're gonna get into the nitty gritty details.
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest with you, I think Pulse just needs to accept that they're full on degen and just absolutely go all in on let's make money off of DeFi, right? I want pools with 10,000 plus percent APY. I want to be able to stake things like I want to be able to stake absolute nonsense and provide liquidity for something where I could potentially lose all my money. I don't really see that going on. I think they're trying to act like they're a legit chain with a lot of volume and everything's fine. The tokenomics are great and stuff. I think they just need to embrace the degen aspect of this because, I mean, look what happened to Phantom, man. Like, that's all I'm going to say for now.
To be real with you, bro, I don't know anything about PulseX. I don't hear anybody talking about them. So yeah, they're not in my sight whatsoever. However, Solana, these motherfuckers degen too. They got them high DeFi APRs out there. If you look, you want that, you'll find it. And just to say, I've been on many blockchains and used all their ecosystems. You know, the basic ones: Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, Elron Gold. Which surprisingly doesn't have a higher volume of people on it. It's just, I think it's just because they just have shitty ass marketing. But anyways, back to Solana. Yeah, they're real, dude. Like the community's strong. There's a lot of things popping, and I think there's a reason it's in the top 10. It's a blue chip. It really is.
Yeah, one thing I want to say real quick too is that obviously the development language, right? The programming language matters a lot here in terms of people who are actually like, you know, doing the framework of what we build on every day. You know, Solana's been around, right? It was 2018 and then launched in 2020 or sometime in 2020. And honestly, a lot of the reason why Solana has been built at the rate it has is because folks who already, you know, code in that language are bringing more and more people over to that because they think that it's maybe more it's just more productive. Like, I don't know exactly what about it is more productive because I'm not a coder, but I know that those Solana devs, they ride hard and they've been bringing folks in since the beginning. So maybe Quick's gonna talk a little more about that, but definitely something to note, I think, is that the development army on Solana is very, very strong.
Real quick, just to build on what Pat said, so it is on Rust, but there is like Solang you can write in Solidity. There's a Python, like they have plugins for ChatGPT and Bard. So like basically you can bring over any language and write on Solana, and it's really incredible what they're able to build. Like the compressed NFTs alone, like if you can't see the true value of that these digital collectibles are going to be a huge, not only for gaming, for retail, for entertainment, for just your identity. But like at the end of the day, just look at the leadership. You know what I mean? Like Solana Labs and Foundation with Toly and like Mert from Helios, for example, like versus Richard Hart and the SEC. I mean, this is a no-brainer. Like, if you guys are into like meme coins and everything, like we got that too. Bonk just popped off. I just got $1,300 today, dropped to me for free from Pit. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this was a beautiful day in Solana.
It's obviously very innovative. I mean, we have royalties already enforceable in Solana and Fix, as well as so many other issues that have come up in the market. Yeah, that's about all I got. Honestly, I'm curious to hear what the Pulse chain people say.
Gotcha. Wally, man, so far, I mean, you know about Pulse, you learned a little bit about Solana so far. I know you're playing like neutral, but are you bullish going into the Pulse side of the round for Solana, or are you bearish? Like, come on, Wally, what you got for us, man?
Ooh, dude. I mean, I gotta hear the Pulse guys like rebuttal first before I make any decisions, and then I'll let you know. But I will say, it sounds like Solana's got some good tech. It sounds like they're pretty fast, pretty scalable. Pat thinks it's an omen, so I don't know, Solana people, take it how you will. But Kathy Wood, who is the CEO of ARK Invest, did say that Solana is the new Ethereum, basically. I think verbatim it was something like Solana is faster and more scalable than Ethereum, so it makes it better. I still don't know about the Solana phone nonsense. To me, that seemed like a bunch of money just pissed down the drain by the foundation, but I'd have to look into it more.
I mean, I'm running the space right now off of my Solana phone, and it's working pretty well. So,
can you just build dApps that are like apps on a phone then? Is that how that works? Is it that easy?
Yeah, pretty much. And honestly, I think Kathy's due for a good year, so it's pretty bullish at the end of the day that she's, on the Solana train. She's name dropping this.
You guys got the rebuttal. We got Zach Degen, alumni, and then we got Mello up here. I mean, respond to some of the points that was made. Then let's get into why Pulse is way better than Solana.
So I want to go ahead and get started off. Like Hex, Pulse Chain, two different things, Pat. When I said store of value, we were talking about Hex. Don't get it misconstrued. I don't know what
Neither
recording
are.
said Hex. Okay. So with that being said, Solana goes down every day. I've tried to actually use the service, and actually got my money stuck multiple times. So that's one issue that I had with it. Yeah, you guys did fix it. I think it's been a couple months since that happened. That's cool and all. But with Pulse Chain, it's still growing. The validator, you said you had two validators, client systems. We have 42,000 validators right now, which is fully decentralized. They're all over the world, right? When you guys keep saying Richard Hart, he has given us a chain. The chain is literally working on its own. The builders are coming. I think the more infrastructure that gets built, just like every chain, Solana, ETH, BNB, AVAX, more Cardano, the more infrastructure that gets built is how I guess the user base or the volume grows, right? Now, Ethereum and Pulse Chain, yeah, it's a copy, right? But it offloaded the pressure of what was happening on Ethereum. It didn't give a chance for the builders to actually build because it was expensive to actually build anything on Ethereum or for their community even to transact on that network. So it just basically gave it another option to do those kind of solutions that Ethereum was trying to target, right? Every chain has its solutions. Like Maxine said, there is a solution for every chain. And yeah, there is languages that you can't deal with on Pulse Chain because it is a EVM of Ethereum. And Solana is doing something different, but we got to look at the time. We actually got more volume than Solana did when it started. So we have the community. We have the DeFi protocols. You guys saying degens, like degens are everywhere. It's more on, can this infrastructure be built upon? Can it get stronger? Is the solution going to help more and onboard masses, right? And let's speak on that, Joe. There is user friendly interfaces that actually help people bringing them on board to PulseChain. There's an internet money wallet, just like there's a Phantom wallet. There's an internet money wallet that actually is directly on PulseChain. You don't have to do no RPC, handle nothing of that nature, and that's also a Chrome extension and also a mobile application. And there are also bridges, other bridges that are coming, non KYC bridges, because we are a decentralized chain. That is another thing that we're also pushing is decentralization. Maybe self sovereignty. Also, another thing is delayed gratification. And if we can try to spread that awareness or understanding to more and more people, then you will then start seeing more and more people be more aware of their surroundings, more aware of their security, and how they handle the blockchain or how they handle Web3 in whole. And Postchain, in my opinion, is not going anywhere. It's not dead. We have the volume to back it up. We have the community to back it up. So far, Solana is not doing it for certain people, but Postchain has a bunch of gains, and I think we're winning over here because I don't know. You said 1,300. Man, we've been making great gains, 100x's, 200x's, all over the place. So yeah, there are also real DeFi projects doing that as well.
Okay. Okay, that's what Mello got. I mean, Degen, Zach, or Lumni, what you guys got?
I'll talk real quick. You guys hear me? Toss in 2 cents real quick. I'm not gonna just openly talk shit about Solana because what got me back into crypto originally, I bailed on all my bit in like 2016, and right when I was getting into helium, I found Hex. Did my research into Hex and started finding out all these things about it and how I think it's the best possible store of value in the crypto space right now. And the only reason, and Richard said it himself, the only reason that PulseChain was created was because the fees were wrecking everybody on the Ethereum side when they were trying to unstake their hex. You know, people ended up paying more to unstake their hex than they did to buy the hex in the first place, just because the price had been fluctuating so much with, you know, with what it does with bull and bear markets. All the other shit to come, you know, once he decided, oh, I'm going to make a whole layer one just for Hex, he's like, I might as well make an exchange. There comes PulseX. And, you know, PulseChain just came naturally when he created the chain. And then after that, like, the community took hold, and that's, you know, where we are now. So to think that this giant array of projects and multi-billion-dollar market cap throughout the PulseChain ecosystem came from community members that were all centralized around one single crypto that they like is pretty goddamn impressive. So, you know, to the people who are saying, oh, it's going to be dead in a year and whatever, you guys go fuck yourselves for all I care. I think we'll still be sitting strong. Appreciate you guys letting me talk.
Damn, he do the F bomb. He said, okay, I respect it. I mean, that's the type of energy we're looking for, just for a moment, and then we get friendly again.
Mello pretty much hit everything on the head, but you know, I don't know too much about Solana. Obviously, you know, I heard everybody's spiel, and it sounds great, right? You know, like being super fast and all that. Having a bunch of, you know, really great tech is an amazing thing. But honestly, like Pulse Chain is super enticing to me because it's in its first cycle, right? You know, Solana has done its thing a few times already. I don't know how many years it's been out, but you know, this is a first run for Pulse Chain. It got launched in a bear market, and you know, has yet to see what it can do in a bull run. If we look at other layer one blockchains, Ethereum, BNB, etc., you know, they've all done like 1,000x runs, right? So you know, we can kind of just speculate on to what's going to happen with Pulse Chain. Another thing, you know, we can all kind of laugh about Richard Hart and the SEC suing him and all that stuff, but honestly, it just kind of makes me even more bullish. Free marketing, right? My aunt, you know, who's like she's a financial lady, but just she knows that I'm part of like the crypto community, and she asked me the other day if I knew who Richard Hart was, and that kind of blew my mind, right? Just, you know, it just goes to show that, you know, the SEC case, whether or not it may be anything in the long run, it's, you know, letting people know who Richard Hart is. It's getting the word out about Pulse Chain, and it's also showing the U.S., you know, how shitty and corrupt our government can be. So that's just a whole nother thing. Pulse Chain is completely decentralized. You know, you can always say that, oh, Richard Hart, you know, he holds 90% of the tokens or whatever. And then, you know, to that, I would obviously say that, you know, when Bitcoin first came out, Satoshi held all the coins, and that was the most profitable time to buy Bitcoin. Also, large companies like Tesla, Apple, and etc., they hold the majority of the stock because they don't want the price to be manipulated. I'm not sure about Solana, but I've heard that there's a lot of VC investors. There are, influencers like BitBoy and others that have referral codes on their thing. They could be dumping on your head, getting Solana, and just dumping it on their followers. That's a whole nother thing. PulseChain doesn't have all that.
Well, I'd say that's
Wait, let's hear from DJ real quick, fam.
that's a
Yeah,
bit
Chat ready to
hypocritical
go.
because
yeah, he's ready to attack, yo. No, I was gonna say I
yeah.
think Zach and Mello kind of covered a majority of the things. Like for me personally, I think like looking at Solana, looking at Pulse Chain, there's a lot of things which I like in terms of Solana. But then there's also a lot of things which I like in terms of Pulse Chain. Things which I like in terms of Solana are probably a lot of things which like Zach covered. UI is really super friendly. It's really easy to onboard people, stuff like that. There's no SEC FUD. It's probably one of the most loved blockchains by the government, obviously, because the government was involved with FTX. So we all know the story behind that. So I think like from those standpoints, like I think Solana is really dope. Also in terms of like volume and stuff like that, what you're seeing on the chain, you're starting to see a lot of people actually flood over to Solana because it's kind of having its own bull run right now, where meme coins are taking off. There's coins like sending to like the hundreds of thousands, or sorry, hundreds of millions of market cap, right? So that's really cool. It's great for adoption. It's bringing a lot of users. So I don't think anybody can talk shit about that. When you look at 6 months price performance in terms of when Solana launched and you look at Pulse Chain, it's really easy to kind of like compare because they launched at like exact same time pretty much. If you look at it like in May, Solana was actually up about 6x after 6 months. So Pulse Chain is kind of down bad in that regard. So, Pulse Chain people were kind of coping right now. It's okay, guys. I'm here with you. But what I do like about Pulse Chain is the fact, like what you guys were saying with Solana, is that it's decentralized, right? I would argue in terms of the decentralized nature of Solana, simply for the fact being that one, like FTX can literally wreck Solana and send it to zero. That's why we saw that Solana chart dump like crazy, right? We all know the amount of funds that I see all the thumbs down from the Solana people, but hey, I'm just speaking the facts. We all know the amount of funds that kind of like Solana was given by FTX. We all know the amount of VC backing. And the only reason why Solana is pumping right now in the charts is because there needs to be a liquidation when the FTX situation is solved. So there's kind of that. So I'd be curious to see kind of like people's opinions on that. Yeah, I think Pulse Chain in terms of like its decentralized nature, like yeah, like there's Ricardo, the fat man owns 90%, but it's on blockchain. He's never sold. I'm not gonna sit up here and say, hey, he doesn't have other wallets where he could be dumping on our heads. Obviously, that's quite possible, but the OA itself has never actually sold tokens. So at least we can, be safe knowing that. Whereas with Solana, like you can literally see the vesting schedule of all these VCs, and hey, on this date there will be a massive dump. It's programmed.
This last thing I wanted to say was Richard Hart. It's not an active lawsuit from the SEC. It's at this point an investigation. He hasn't been served any papers. It's literally just news right now that they opened up an investigation, and they're not even doing an investigation as to
He's
whether,
been charged by the SEC.
Right, but he hasn't been served papers yet.
But he's being charged by the SEC. So there is a public press release on the government's website that says they're charging Richard Hart with misappropriating assets and securities.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stick with the Solana people on this one. I think saying that it's not an active
Yo,
case is kind of coping.
DJ is wishy washy.
It's kind of coping. No, I'm just saying,
Yo,
guys,
Pulse,
listen,
Pulse
I'm
Maxi
telling
turned
you
into
guys, I'm a
Solana
Pulse
Maxi
person,
love.
I'm a Pulse person, but the SEC case, like all of that, like if we're saying it's not real, like we're coping. Come on, guys.
I've seen a Pulse Maxi turn into a Solana Maxi live.
Nah, you can't. I
I'm
don't
not a
think you can
Pulse
call it
maxi.
that. I think it's just
I'm
a
just
truth maxi,
impartial.
bro. That was just like, calling out the truth. I hope people
The
on Pulse
SEC
Chain are
coming
not
after
coming.
people sucks across blockchains. So like I don't want to seem like we're going after Richard or something like that. That's not the point of this show. Like the SEC getting involved with crypto and specifically certain individuals, like it sucks, right? It sucks for all of our bags, right? We're all going to be pissed off when that shit happens. But at the end of the day, good actors are good actors and bad actors are bad actors, right? That's not really for me to decide. Richard might have done some shit in his past. The real, at the core of the issue is like regulations and laws in the states. Can he do this without being considered a security? And it looks like they don't think so. So that's really just the fact
All
of
right,
the
so
matter. We're not fudding
let me
Richard
ask
or
you guys
anything
some
like that.
questions. Let me ask you guys a question, real quick about Pulse. Do you guys think it's bad that Richard Art allegedly has 90% of the supply?
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I've said this before in the Pulse, in the spaces that we've had. And I mean, I don't believe really. I think that Hex was designed at least to make Richard Hart richer. I think it's pretty obvious. Everybody kind of realizes that. I think they do have a pretty good case against him. I mean, I do think it's bad in terms of, let's say he beats them, he doesn't, then nobody settles or anything like that. Richard wins. That's good for all of crypto, right? It's the same thing with XRP. I don't like XRP. I don't like people saying the great reset is XRP's going to $1,000 and shit like that. But when they beat the case, like that's big for crypto. So there's goods and there's bads, right? I'm not going to stand on one side and say it's really good or it's really bad or anything like that. And Richard's tokens, like that doesn't really matter much. He's already, if he's dumped on everybody's head and made millions, like it's far and few. It's done with.
Yeah, I just wanted to encourage anybody who's like debating between these two chains. I just downloaded the Internet Money Wallet, and I still just don't think it's simple enough for the everyday person to use it. I do like the user interface a lot, and I think it's better than a lot of the other wallets that I've seen. But I mean, just having me go on and then have to pick a main network to run on, and then like do all this stuff. I don't know. Like with Phantom wallets, you just load up the wallet and then get going. You're on the internet. You're on whatever blockchain you want to run on. I just feel like this is just still a little bit too clunky for widespread adoption. But I have appreciated a lot of the conversation. I am more bullish on Pulse than I was before.
So Maxi converting into a Pulse, Maxi.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and handle a few bits of FUD. I didn't know they were going to really try to come out swinging like that. So, I know you guys are going through it, but at the end of the day, like being real, I'm going to shoot straight with you. Like, your blockchain is going to be forever remembered as this, dude that, went to jail because he was spending all his money on the tokens on his, one-piece jumper Gucci suits. And that's, you can't compete with, what we're doing with breakcoin and stuff,
Dude's
dude.
funny.
I'm sorry, I'm going to
Just
shoot
one
it
quick
straight with you,
thing.
dude.
There's
It is
no
what it is.
there's no
Turn
criminal
the fuck
charges
up, Quicks.
against him. There's no criminal
It
charges,
doesn't
so I don't
matter
know
though,
why
the
you're
image
saying he's
though.
going
There's
to
a
jail.
difference between publicity
Yeah.
that's free and
Bro,
good
it's
one. And
Richard Hart.
it's Richard Hart, and that's what's gonna be known as, dude. There's so many other
Wait, but hold on.
blockchains.
We passed it over to the Pulse community. All right, Pulse community. Shout out to the Pulse goons. We got Zach Mello DJ, we got Parkway, we got Diverse, and then we got Alumni. All right, I'm gonna ask you guys a similar question here now. Do you guys think that is bullish or bearish? Do you guys think that it sucks that the Solana community has this vesting period, that VCs is gonna be dumping left and right? They got BitBoy, they say they can process all these transactions, but they fail most of the time. I mean, what you guys gotta say about this?
All right.
Turn
I
up,
want to
Mello.
figure out is where the hell did y'all get the information from where Richard Hart owns the OA address? Where y'all getting this misinformation from? Where in the books can y'all please show receipts that say, hey, he owns these keys? And he said it's on paper. Where is it? Could we find out? Because the post chain bros need to know.
In terms of Solana versus Pulse Chain, right, I believe that there's more gains to be had in Pulse Chain in this next bull run. And I'm just going to basically leave it at that.
This is my just quick opinion on everything. You've got Pulse Chain and you've got Solana. They're both doing their own thing, and it's really hard to plug into one thing that's so intense like these two blockchains at one time. But I just think that it's a good time to understand, just like Zach was just saying, that even though the market not the market cap, but the total volume on Pulse Chain may be low, I'm telling you guys right now, if you're paying attention and if you follow closely, there's a float of X's to be had. So if you got time to come off of the Solana chain, that's what I think, man, is that there's a lot of X's to be had for people paying attention. And we're just getting started. It's brand new and it's a baby. And so as far as answering the question about Solana, I think that there's probably good gains to be had, even though VC money is in. If VC money is in, that goes to show that there's some important things that are happening. So I would say that would mean that I would need to plug into Solana and find out about the way these times come when the dumps happen, and try to see if I can get some X's as well.
Yo, this dude is so real, bro. Never once have we had somebody come up and say there's exit liquidity. Like, never has any of the Pulse guys said that. Like, let's just be honest. This
So
dude is
we're
real.
bullish on that. We're bullish on that.
I'm pretty fucking bullish.
So you said VC something. Basically, y'all saying that Richard Hart owns the OA or something, whatever y'all saying. But then y'all know y'all have VCs vesting, and y'all know they're gonna what they do when they get that thing unlocked is going to take that thing and dump it on your head, right? So you guys are telling us that we have somebody that's gonna do that, and you guys have somebody that knows that somebody's gonna do that, and it just doesn't make sense how we're talking shit. Like it just doesn't make sense.
Let's get it. Let's go to Court. What's going on, Court?
What's up, guys? How we doing? I just wanted to hop in here really quick and talk about why I'm involved in Pulse Chain, and it's because of the community, man. The community is the asset of this chain. Just how Apple in the early days, there was a cult of Apple. That's why Apple became so explosive in the stock world. Then you have the cult of Satoshi, which is Bitcoin. You had to have this cult-like community. And I know everyone kind of talks down on that in the crypto space, but it's really what the asset and what's going to carry us through. Because as Solana, you have the influencers, and that's why we're pumping so hard in Solana. But in Pulse Chain, it will be the community that carries us through, and that will have long-term gains. So that's why I'm in Pulse Chain.
Let's fucking go.